Some people collect stamps, others collect fridge magnets. But billionaires? They collect cars so rare and expensive that you could buy a whole neighborhood instead. I'm talking about machines so over the top they make your regular Ferrari look like a used Corolla. These are the 10 most jaw-dropping, wallet-crushing rides billionaires own in 2025, all costing over $1 million each. These aren't just cars, they're rolling art pieces, personal status statements, and sometimes billion-dollar egos on wheels. From Jay-Z's $28 million yacht on wheels to Cristiano Ronaldo's one-off Bugatti, we're going inside the garages of the ultra-rich. Let's start with the cheap one, at just $2.5 million. 10. Ferrari F60, America, $2.5 million. If Ferrari had to sum up its feelings for America in one gift, it wouldn't send flowers or write a card. It would send this, the F60 America. A roofless, 740 horsepower, V12 beast, painted in deep patriotic blue with a bold white racing stripe. No subtlety, no apology, just pure, open-top excess. Ferrari only built 10 of these, and every single one went to a North American billionaire. Not a millionaire, not someone doing well, but someone who can say, I want a $2.5 million convertible I'll drive twice a year, without blinking. It was created to celebrate Ferrari's 60th anniversary in North America, hence the name. And it's basically the automotive equivalent of an expensive anniversary gift. Except instead of jewelry, it's a hand-built Italian missile. Under that sculpted hood is a naturally aspirated 6.3-liter V12 that revs past 8,000 RPM. Translation: it doesn't just go fast, it sings. It's the kind of sound that makes people stop mid-conversation and say, "What is that?" And if you happen to own one, you get to enjoy that soundtrack without worrying about anyone else pulling up next to you in the same car. The odds of that happening are about the same as two billionaires accidentally showing up to a party in the same custom yacht. One of the most famous reported owners is Lawrence Stroll, a Canadian billionaire, Formula One team owner, and professional collector of things you can't have. His garage is already ridiculous, filled with rare Ferraris, Aston Martins, and other hypercars. Adding an F60 America was less about filling a gap and more about sending a message. Yes, I can. If you ever get invited to one of his legendary summer parties, you might see it parked casually by the pool, looking like it owns the place. The interior is just as over-the-top as the exterior. Red leather seats with unique stitching, special badging, and craftsmanship so precise it's practically jewelry you can sit in. The open-top design means you get wind in your hair, sun on your face, and a V12 soundtrack that drowns out every thought except life is good. For billionaires, owning the F60 America isn't about daily driving. It's about making a statement. It's an instant collector's piece, a rolling investment, and a social signal all at once. Drive it through Monaco, Beverly Hills, or Palm Beach, and people will stop what they're doing to take photos. And maybe that's the real point. The F60, America isn't just a car. It's a ticket to a club so exclusive you can count the members on your fingers, and still have enough fingers left to hold a glass of champagne. 9. Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro, $4 million. If a Formula One car and a spaceship had a baby, it would look suspiciously like the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR Pro. This is not a car you can take to dinner. It's not something you park outside your office. In fact, you can't even legally drive it on the road. Aston Martin didn't build it for traffic. They built it for billionaires who think fun means spending a Sunday trying to break the laws of physics on a private racetrack. Only 40 of these exist on the planet, which means just 40 people get to experience the sheer insanity of what happens when you strip a hypercar of all the stuff it needs to be street legal and let the engineers go wild. And if you think this is just a slightly faster version of the regular Valkyrie, think again. This is the all the rules are gone, let's see how far we can push it before it breaks edition. Under that aggressive, almost alien-looking body sits a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 that revs to an ear-melting 11,000 RPM. That's motorcycle territory. Except this thing isn't a motorcycle. It's a carbon fiber, downforce-obsessed missile that weighs about as much as a large dog. Okay, maybe a very heavy, muscle-packed guard dog. But still, for a car, that's absurdly light. Known billionaire owners? Lawrence Stroll, again, of course. When you own an F1 team and your day job is literally playing with race cars, adding an AMR Pro to your collection just makes sense. Stroll reportedly uses his for private track days, because when you have your own F1 circuit access, why wouldn't you bring a car that basically is an F1 car with more freedom? Rumor also has it that a few Gulf Royals picked theirs up, because nothing says, "I'm not like other rich people," like having a garage with a car you can't even drive to the grocery store. The AMR Pro is all about aerodynamics and cornering. It creates so much downforce at high speed that it could probably drive upside down in a tunnel. Not that anyone's tried it, yet. Inside, there's nothing to distract you from the job of going as fast as humanly possible. No luxury trim, no cushy seats, no cup holders. This is a cockpit, not a cabin. For the billionaires lucky enough to own one, the Valkyrie AMR Pro isn't just a car. It's an experience. It's a flex that says, I don't just have money. I have the time, the access, and the skill to tame something like this. You can buy a Ferrari and be seen. You can buy a Bugatti and be envied. But buying a Valkyrie AMR Pro means you're part of a club where the initiation is measured in G-forces. 8. Pagani Huayra Codalunga, 7.4 million. Some cars are built to be driven, others are built to be stared at until your neck hurts. The Pagani Huayra Codalunga, that's the second kind, except it's also the first kind, if you have the guts and the insurance policy to actually take it out of the garage. Only 5 of these elongated featherweight masterpieces exist. That's it, one hand. And if you think you can just stroll into a Pagani dealership with a briefcase full of cash and get one, good luck. By the time you hear about a Codalunga being made, it's already been spoken for. That's how rare this thing is. Longer and lighter than the standard Huayra, the Codalunga was designed with an almost obsessive attention to detail. Horacio Pagani, yes, the billionaire founder of Pagani, didn't just oversee production, he literally kept one for himself. Imagine designing something so beautiful, you can't bear to sell them all. That's the level we're talking about here. Known billionaire owners include Horacio himself, as well as at least 2 Middle Eastern royals, who, according to whispers in the collector world, have theirs stored in climate-controlled vaults. These aren't garages. These are Bond villain-level car bunkers, complete with humidity control, perfect spotlighting, and a staff whose only job is to keep the car looking like it was just delivered from the factory. Some owners don't even drive them. Seriously, the Codalunga sits there, gleaming under museum-grade lighting, polished by a detailer who probably had to sign an NDA before touching the car. It waits for the occasional outing, maybe an invite-only concours event, maybe a private showing at a billionaire's estate, and then it goes right back into hibernation. But here's the thing, under that impossibly smooth, stretched bodywork lives a 6.0-liter twin-turbo V12 that produces enough power to make you question your own mortality. This isn't just a pretty face. It's a missile disguised as a sculpture, ready to snap you back into your seat and make you reconsider every bad decision you've ever made. Pagani wanted the Codalunga to feel like the ultimate expression of the Huayra, a mix of old-school elegance and cutting-edge performance. Think 1960s Italian endurance racers, but reimagined for billionaires who want to own something no one else can get their hands on. The exhaust is made of titanium, the interior is a work of pure art, and every single part looks as if it belongs in a gallery. When you see one in person, if you ever do, it doesn't feel real. It feels like a concept car that somehow escaped the auto show floor and ended up in someone's collection. And for the lucky 5 who own them, the Codalunga isn't transportation. It's bragging rights, investment, and rolling art all rolled into one, even if it spends most of its life standing perfectly still. 7. Mercedes-Maybach Exelero, $8 million. Some cars are born out of passion. Others are born out of necessity. The Mercedes-Maybach Exelero? It was born out of a very specific, very expensive science experiment, testing high-speed tires. Back in the mid-2000s, tire manufacturer Fulda wanted a real-world platform to show off what their ultra-performance tires could handle. And instead of just slapping them on a sports car, they thought, why not build an entirely new Maybach? Something so over-the-top it'll be impossible to ignore. Enter the Exelero. The result was this one-of-a-kind twin-turbo V12 land yacht that looks like a cross between a luxury coupe and a stealth bomber. It's nearly 6 meters long. That's longer than some small boats. Pull up anywhere in the Exelero, and you're not just making an entrance. You're shutting down the whole parking lot. Under the hood sits a 5.9-liter twin-turbocharged V12, pumping out around 690 horsepower. That's enough to push this massive, leather-wrapped palace to a top speed of over 215 miles per hour. Yes, it's the size of a yacht, but it moves like a jet. Known billionaire owners? Oh, this car's got a resume. Jay-Z famously featured the Exelero in one of his music videos, instantly cementing it in pop culture history. Before him, it was in the hands of German billionaire Andre A. Jackson, a low-profile tire magnate who reportedly had the connections to get first dibs when Fulda was done showing it off. Eventually, the Exelero changed hands again, passing through a small, secretive circle of collectors who knew they'd never get another shot at owning something like it. And here's the thing. The Exelero isn't just a car, it's a mood. The interior is dripping in leather, polished aluminum, and deep gloss wood trim. Every surface feels like it was crafted for a billionaire who has no idea what a base model even means. You sit in it, and the outside world disappears. You're not driving to get somewhere, you're driving to be seen. Spotting an Exelero in the wild is like spotting a unicorn in the middle of a city street. It's one of those cars where people literally cross traffic just to get a better look. And if you ever did get close enough to touch it, you'd probably hesitate. Not because you're scared of scratching it, but because it feels like you're breaking some kind of unspoken billionaire code. Today, it's less of a daily driver and more of a mobile treasure chest. Whether it's locked away in a climate-controlled garage or occasionally rolled out for a private car event, the Exelero is living proof that sometimes the wildest, most outrageous cars come from the most unexpected reasons, like testing a set of tires. 6. Bugatti Centodieci, $9 million. If you've ever looked at a Bugatti Chiron and thought, nice, but I want something rarer, louder, and with more bragging rights. Congratulations, you've just described the Bugatti Centodieci. This beast is Bugatti's 21st century love letter to their own EB110, the wedge-shaped hypercar from the 1990s that looked like it had been teleported straight out of a science fiction movie. The Centodieci takes that retro inspiration and smashes it together with modern Bugatti tech until you get something that looks both futuristic and nostalgic, and comes with a 1,600 horsepower W16 engine. Only 10 were ever built. That's not 10 per year, not 10 per continent, just 10 in the entire world. You could buy every Chiron on the planet and still not be invited to this club. So who did get in? Football legend Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most famous owners, and he treats it like a crown jewel in his already ridiculous garage. This is the same garage where his one-off La Voiture Noire lives, so you know the Centodieci isn't just another car for him. It's part of his "I own cars you've only seen in memes" collection. Then there's the story of the Emirati billionaire who supposedly bought one as a tribute to his father's racing days. According to whispers in collector circles, his father raced in the early 90s and always dreamed of owning a Bugatti EB110. When the Centodieci came along, the son saw it as the perfect way to honor that dream, with a modern twist and about double the horsepower. On the road, the Centodieci is absurd in the best way. 0 to 60 in about 2.4 seconds, top speed just shy of 240 miles per hour, and acceleration so violent it feels like the air gets punched out of your lungs. And yet, the moment you park it, you realize the car's true power isn't in its performance. It's in how people react to it. This isn't the kind of supercar that blends in at Monaco's Casino Square. This is the car that makes every other millionaire on the block quietly reevaluate their life choices. Inside, it's all Bugatti perfection. Hand-stitched leather, milled aluminum controls, and enough customization options that no two Centodiecis are exactly alike. Buyers didn't just choose colors, they chose stories. Every paint shade, every stitch, every trim panel was selected to reflect their personal taste, history, or ego. At $9 million, the Centodieci isn't just about owning a car. It's about joining a hyper-exclusive fraternity where the entry requirement is, "Oh, you have a Chiron? Cute. I have this." 5. Rolls-Royce Sweptail, $13 million. Some people walk into a dealership, browse the inventory, and maybe haggle for floor mats. Then there are people like the mysterious billionaire who strolled into Rolls-Royce one day and basically said, I want something that doesn't exist yet. Build it just for me. That request became the Rolls-Royce Sweptail. Price tag? A cool $13 million. Number built? Exactly 1. It's a yacht-inspired coupe so extravagant it makes regular Phantoms and Ghosts look like rental cars. The Sweptail is believed to be owned by Hong Kong billionaire Sam Lee, a man whose garage could double as an automotive museum. He's known for his taste in luxury that borders on theatrical, and this car is the perfect example. Sam wanted a modern Rolls that also paid tribute to his passion for classic yachts. So Rolls-Royce's design team went all in on nautical inspiration. The rear deck looks like it was stolen straight off a super yacht. A smooth, tapering expanse of glossed wood that catches the light like a teak deck under the sun. This isn't just decorative. It's a statement, the kind that says, yes, my car can dock next to my actual yacht, and they'll match. Inside, the opulence continues. There's a hidden champagne cooler because obviously you might need a chilled bottle ready at all times. Not a random cooler stuffed into a compartment either. We're talking custom engineered to fit his favorite vintage perfectly, complete with crystal flutes that slide out as if you're in a Bond movie. The wood finishing inside is the kind of craftsmanship that takes years to perfect. Rolls-Royce's artisans worked with rare veneers, laying them out in patterns that align so flawlessly it feels almost unreal. The interior is a calm, elegant blend of leather, polished metal, and glowing light, designed not for showing off, but for the owner to sink into after a long day of making billion-dollar deals. Mechanically, it's still a Rolls-Royce at heart, a whisper-quiet V12 that moves with effortless grace, as if the car is gliding rather than driving. But really, the Sweptail's magic isn't about horsepower or speed. It's about presence. When this car arrives, it doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. People just notice. Conversations stop. Phones come out. You can feel the collective curiosity. What is that? And that's exactly the point. The Sweptail isn't just transportation. It's a rolling autobiography, a car that tells the story of its owner's taste, passions, and absolute unwillingness to settle for something anyone else could buy. At $13 million, it's less a car and more a piece of personal art, one that just happens to have a license plate. Fourth SP Automotive Chaos, $14.4 million. The SP Automotive Chaos isn't just another hypercar, it's a middle finger to the laws of physics. Built in Greece by Spyros Panopoulos, Automotive, this machine doesn't aim to compete with other supercars. It's here to humiliate them. With up to 2,000 horsepower from a twin-turbo V10, the Chaos has performance numbers that make even seasoned gearheads raise an eyebrow. 0 to 60 in under 1.8 seconds, if you believe the manufacturer. That's faster than most fighter jets during takeoff. The top speed? Over 300 miles per hour, which puts it in the same conversation as land speed record cars. Except this one isn't locked away in a desert testing facility. It's meant to be driven. Well, if you call holding on for dear life driving. Only 2 confirmed buyers exist, because production is as limited as it gets. The first is a tech billionaire from the UAE, a man who reportedly collects things no one else can have, from private islands to prototype gadgets. He wanted the first Chaos off the line, customized down to the stitching in the seats. Rumor has it he even requested a paint finish that changes color depending on the time of day. The second slot belongs to a mysterious European collector whose name stays off the record. Some say he's an ex-racing driver turned investor. Others claim he's an art mogul. What's certain is that his Chaos will never see a racetrack. It'll sit in a climate-controlled garage, surrounded by Ferraris, Koenigsegg's, and maybe a Picasso or two. What makes the Chaos even wilder is how it's built. Many parts are 3D printed from titanium, a process so expensive and intricate that it borders on science fiction. Titanium suspension components, carbon Kevlar bodywork, aerospace-grade materials. This car is more spaceship than automobile. SP Automotive calls it an ultra-car rather than a hypercar, because even hyper felt too modest. Step inside, and you're greeted with a cockpit that looks like it belongs in a stealth bomber. The seats are sculpted from carbon fiber, the steering wheel has controls you'll need a manual to fully understand, and the digital displays are so sharp they make your smartphone look like a relic. And then there's the noise. At full tilt, the Chaos doesn't purr or growl. It shrieks. a high-pitched mechanical symphony that feels like the engine is trying to tear a hole through the atmosphere. The $14.4 million price tag isn't just about speed. It's about owning something that sits at the bleeding edge of automotive engineering, with exclusivity baked in. You're not buying a car. You're buying bragging rights, headlines, and the knowledge that no one else on your block, or maybe even your continent, will have one. It's faster than almost anything with wheels, rarer than a billionaire paying retail, and very possibly the most extreme interpretation of what a road-going car could be, if you dare to drive it. 2. Rolls-Royce Boattail. $28 million. Some cars are expensive because they're fast, some because they're rare. And then there's the Rolls-Royce Boattail, a $28 million rolling piece of art where speed is the least interesting thing about it. Only 3 exist on the entire planet. Not 300, not 30, 3. Each one is completely unique, built entirely to the whims and personal tastes of its owner. And that's the point. This isn't about buying a car. This is about commissioning a once-in-a-lifetime experience where Rolls-Royce basically turns your personality into an automobile. Known owners? Oh, the guest list is as glamorous as the price tag. Jay-Z and Beyoncé own one, finished in shades inspired by their favorite champagne brand, complete with a custom set of glasses etched with their initials. The leather interior matches the deep, rich tone of a fine cognac, and the wood veneers are polished to a yacht-like sheen. Fitting, because the Boattail takes its design cues from luxury sailboats. Then there's Mauro Icardi, the Argentine footballer who made headlines not just for owning one, but for fueling wild speculation in Argentina about exactly what kind of weekends he's planning in it. And then there's the party trick, quite literally. The Boattail's rear deck opens up in a butterfly motion to reveal what can only be described as the most over-the-top picnic setup ever installed in a car. Inside, a matching set of porcelain tableware, silver cutlery, and a champagne fridge calibrated to the exact temperature preferred by the owner. Pop-up umbrellas emerge to provide shade, while a pair of high-end stools slide out for seating. It's like a luxury yacht deck on wheels, only you can take it straight to the beach or into the countryside without ever leaving the driver's seat. Underneath the glitz, there's still serious engineering. The Boattail is powered by a 6.75-liter V12, gliding along in near silence like a private island moving across the pavement. But make no mistake, nobody buys this car to race. You buy it to arrive. And when you arrive in a Boattail, people notice. Phones come out. Conversations stop, because everyone knows they're looking at something they'll probably never see again. Every detail is handcrafted, from the custom body panels to the embroidery in the seats. Rolls-Royce's design team reportedly spent 4 years on each one, holding private design meetings with the owners, sourcing rare materials from around the globe, and making sure every inch of the car told their personal story. That's why the Boattail isn't just a car. It's a lifestyle trophy. The ultimate symbol that you've reached a level of wealth where limited edition still isn't exclusive enough. And with a price tag of $28 million, you're not just buying transportation, you're buying legend status. 1. Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire. Droptail. $30 million. The La Rose Noire Droptail isn't just the most expensive new car in the world for 2025. It's the automotive equivalent of a private island with its own climate. Price tag? $30 million. Production run? 4. That's not rare, that's, if you see one, you're probably not allowed within 50 feet of it. Rare. The official list is more secretive than a Swiss bank account. But we know at least 2 belong to ultra-wealthy Middle Eastern billionaires, with one widely believed to be Saudi royalty. The other 2? One is whispered to be locked away in a European aristocrat's estate, the other in the climate-controlled garage of a tech billionaire who could buy half of Monaco without blinking. The first thing that hits you is the color. This isn't red or burgundy. Rolls calls it a rose petal crimson, and it shifts like silk in the light. The paint took years to perfect, made exclusively for this car. It's the kind of finish that makes even seasoned car collectors stop mid-sentence. Step inside, and you're not just in a car, you're in a rolling art installation. Over 1,600 individual pieces of black sycamore wood are hand-laid to create a marquetry pattern that flows like falling petals. Each piece is sanded, polished, and placed with the kind of precision usually reserved for watchmakers or crown jewel restorers. This is the kind of interior where you'd hesitate to sit down, just in case your jeans are having a rough day. Under the hood, there's a 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12. Rolls-Royce won't tell you exactly how fast it goes, because speed isn't the point. The point is that if you do put your foot down, it will surge forward with the kind of silent, unstoppable force that makes you wonder if the laws of physics were suspended just for you. But here's the thing. Nobody's buying a Noire Droptail for the acceleration. They're buying it because it's theirs. And in the billionaire world, mine is the ultimate status symbol. This isn't a car you drive to be seen. This is a car you drive when you've already been seen, when you've already made it, when you're playing a game most people don't even know exists. It's part hyper-luxury grand tourer, part personal statement, part rolling museum piece. And the fact that there are only 4 means each one is more than just a car. It's a story, a legend, and a quiet but undeniable way of saying, I win. For these billionaires, the car isn't just transport, it's branding. Jay-Z's Exelero doubled as a music video prop. Ronaldo's La Voiture Noire is a rolling trophy cabinet. Beyoncé's boat tail is part yacht, part red carpet entrance. These aren't purchases, they're statements. To most of us, spending millions on a car is unthinkable. But in the billionaire world, it's just another Tuesday. These machines aren't just for speed or comfort. They're personal landmarks, investments, and proof that if you're rich enough, your car can be as unique as your fingerprint. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next one. 20 cars you'll never regret owning in 2025. Under $100,000.